Space food is all about practicality. Weight, nutritional value, and packaging are all factors that NASA scientists think about when making the mission's meal plan 5 months in advance. Sending a rocket into space costs a lot of money, and the more the rocket weighs, the more it's going to cost. By freeze-drying foods, nearly all the moisture is removed, decreasing the weight significantly. This process allows almost any food to be shipped into space. To keep the foods from floating away, foods are often velcroed to a tray, which is velcroed to the astronaut's lap, but other times astronauts will let their foods float. They eat everything with a straw, fork, spoon, knife, or just with their fingers. And all drinks must be consumed through a straw. Anything that can make a mess, like bread, which gets crumbs everywhere. A sandwich out of a tortilla is famous among astronauts because it's the closest thing they can get to a sandwich out of bread.
In the case of sandwiches, we had to substitute for bread, so we decided to use tortillas. But why? Mostly it's because bread, of course, makes crumbs. When you eat them on Earth, the crumbs fall down to the ground. But here, crumbs are just going to float away. On the other hand, the tortillas that we use are heat-treated and specially packaged in an oxygen-free environment. And now, a little honey. Hey, I noticed something cool about the honey. Instead of the bubble sitting up at the top, because there's no gravity to make it float up, the bubble is floating in the middle. Okay, all closed up, and the envelope of peanut butter and honey is ready to eat. Not too bad.
Astronauts can eat radiated turkey and mashed potatoes from space, but that's about it. Don't talk with your mouth open, and don't chew with your mouth open and all that. Also, don't make a mess, not really because it's rude, but it can put all the astronauts in danger. Crumbs can get into astronauts' eyes and even damage equipment. The future of space food is looking pretty good. We may be able to grow most of our food on ships in a couple of decades. It doesn't seem too far-fetched because we can already grow lettuce in space.
As we continue to look at journeying farther into deep space, one of the more important things that's going to have to be a reality for crews is to be able to grow their own foods. Well, the good news is that's already actively happening on board the space station. Lori Meggs out at the Payload Operations Integration Center at the Marshall Space Flight Center, reporting that by this time next week, station crew members will be eating the lettuce that they grew on the space station in a unit appropriately called Veggie.
So in a few decades, space food isn't going to look like this. It's going to look like this.